In the recent years, Slavic mythology and folklore have gained slightly more international fame. I think it's thanks to the Witcher game series. It seems to be that people talk more and more about Slavic mythology. I would like to share some interesting facts from the Slavic folklore from time to time. However, I think it's impossible to discuss the Slavs without some basic information about them. So today I have a short essay about the Slavs for you to listen to, and also a little painting time-lapse where I illustrated the traditional outfits of early Slavs. Now, the Slavs are an ethnic group that mainly lives in Eastern, Central and Southern Europe. The Slavs were not an empire with written history. They did not raise outstanding philosophers and visionaries who decided about the fate of the world. They did not leave temples nor cities, or no works of art or trade routes. To this date, science has not officially answered the question of where the Slavs originated from. Among the Slavs, there are more than 140 ethnic groups with very diverse numbers. All these groups are divided into three main branches: Western, Eastern and Southern Slavs. The Slavic people dealt with cattle breeding and farming. They built settlements along the rivers. The basic form of a residential building was a small dugout with a square plan, with a large stone or clay furnace inside. The material goods of the early Slavs are poor in metal products. On the other hand, there were simple, non-decorated clay vessels. However, some of the Slavs easily assimilated foreign patterns. For example, areas where they contacted the Byzantine Empire, there were numerous ornaments influenced by this culture. Slavic mythology is everything the Slavs believed and what practices they cultivated. The beliefs of the Slavs belong to the polytheistic religion systems. So, where did the Slavs go with their beliefs? Churches, temples? Although the Slavic people inhabited huge parts of Europe, no consistent message describing their beliefs has survived. It actually gives the imagination some room to show off. See The Witcher? The Slavs worshipped their deities at home and in nature, but they did not build separate temples. These were to be created only later in certain regions. In other regions, paganism, as we now call Slavic beliefs, was not to achieve a sufficiently high level of development to organize itself around any temples, priesthoods, groups. So all this was quite diverse. Places of cult varied depending on religious needs. We can distinguish the following places of worship: holy groves, hills, old trees, usually oaks, but also lindens, maples or ash trees. There were also wooden buildings, the so-called hrams, which means shrines, or kontina, which served as places for prayers, but they were also used as places for meetings and councils. They also built houses for their gods, in which their statues, saddles, treasuries and other objects were located. Admission to these buildings was strictly forbidden to everyone except priests, who could sometimes enter these places if they followed certain strict rules. So the Slavs didn't only pray in sacred groves, though it was one of the most common forms of worshipping gods. There were probably no statues or temples in the groves. Such places were separated by a fence or a ditch. The Slavic pantheon did not have specially personalized hierarchy. In different regions, different gods were chosen as the main patron. Slavic gods were most often personifications of almighty nature, or they manifested their existence through individual aspects of nature. Thus, the Slavic religion wasn't considered as a separate and autonomous sphere of life. Myths were common in the life of the Slavs. They were not treated as mythology in today's understanding. For example, fantastic stories. Myths were available, tangible, and the characters appearing in them reachable, almost at your fingertips, living near the world of humans. Now that's it for this brief description of the early Slavs. I'd like to talk a bit more about their culture and mythology in the future. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Bye!